Hey guys, hello, hello, hello. It's LaShanda Henry here, aka Sister Sense. How are you? How are you? Good morning if you're catching me live. Good evening, good afternoon. If you're catching me on the replay side, drop into the comment box, hashtag replays rock. It's your girl LaShanda, aka Sister Sense. I'm always here to share some money marketing strategies to help you make sense of making money online. As my pillow is moving, what's underneath the pillow? It's a little fuzzy white thing. My little cinnamon printamin. What's up, mama? So y'all, listen, we are going to dive into today how you can stop, S-T-O-P, stop pushing back your plans so that you can push forward in your business. I was inspired to do this particular web class today because a few days ago, I jumped on and I shared the number one killer of your profit, your progress, and your productivity. And believe me, if you missed that, you want to go back and listen to it because it was really solid. But one of the things that I did before I shared that number one thing was I actually talked about a check your thoughts check-in. So we did that as like a clarity session, and I said real talk. And especially for those of you who are jumping on live right now, how many times in the last week were you super, I'm sorry, mama, I hit her in the head. How many times in the last week, hey, Rhonda, good morning. How many times in the last week were you guys super excited about doing something? You wrote it all out, you had it in your notebook, your plans were ready, and then at some point you pushed back your plans? How many times did you do that? And I did a check your thoughts check-in on the last session. I just want to ask you that because it's so important to identify when you are stopping yourself from moving forward. And a lot of people said, man, I have pushed myself back. Man, there were things that I wanted to do, and maybe out of frustration, fear, or fatigue, they pushed themselves back and they didn't do those things, right? People drop numbers in there like 2 and 3 and 4, maybe more. There's so many things that can happen in your life, or so many things that can come up in your mind that cause you to push back your plans. So number one, before we even talk about how you can stop doing that, what I want you to do is think about how many times you've pushed back a particular plan in the last week. Feel free to drop that into the comment box. And then number two, let me know at least one plan that you have said to yourself, LaShanda, I was supposed to ... but I pushed this back. Right? And why? Feel free to share why you pushed it back. Sometimes, oh my gosh, I pushed it back. It was a family emergency. Unfortunately, sometimes our health isn't the best. I have to push it back because, I got sick. I had to go to the hospital. I had to take care of my son, my daughter, my husband, my father. Things happen. And I get that. But there are times when you can move forward, but you're in a place where you think you can't. So we're going to talk about how even when you think you can't, you can move forward. And I'm going to tell you something, especially for those of you who say, listen, LaShanda, real talk, I have several setbacks that cause me to have to push back my plans. And one of the things that I like to tell people, one of my signature citizen statements are setbacks are setups. Setbacks are setups for failure or success. You can choose one of the two, but you cannot choose both. When I say that, I mean this. Number one, when setbacks happen, they can set you up for failure in that you get frustrated, discouraged, you lose momentum, and you stop. Number two, setbacks can set you up for success because a lot of the people who you and I love can tell you that it was at their lowest moment when they hit their breakthrough. One of the things I love, I'm a quote kind of a girl, right? And one of my favorite quotes, feel free to share this out, by the way, or tag somebody who needs to hear this. One of my favorite quotes is sometimes God will bring you down to your lowest point because there's something down there for you to find. You hear me what I'm saying? Sometimes you will get to your lowest point. You will have setbacks that will cause you to push back your plans because something down there in that struggle is going to provide you with the courage, the clarity, and the knowledge that you need to move forward. See, so setbacks are setups. Somebody write that down for me. Write it, drop it into the comment box, either for failure or success. So We're going to look at those setbacks. We're going to look at those things that are causing you to push back your plans and identify those things that can help you push forward in your business. Now, if you feel like this is something that somebody needs to hear, feel free to share it out. Number one, because sharing is caring, or even tag them in here. And what I'm trying to do as part of my Spring into Action experience is, as many days as I can, jump on here and share my web classes with you. Now, if you're not in the circle, make sure that you go to sistersense.com. Somebody drop this in the comment box for me, please. sistersense.com/WWC, which stands for Weekly Web Class, so that you can sign up absolutely free to get notifications and updates and replays to some of my best weekly web classes absolutely free. All right, so drop that somewhere in the comment box for me, sistersense.com/WWC for a weekly web class. Chantilly, oh my goodness, my girl is in the building. Thank you so much for sharing my last live stream. Chantilly, I appreciate you. Chantilly says, I've been pausing things for like 2+ years, family emergencies, finances, but really I think a lot of it is fear. I hear you. I hear you. Sometimes we pause for a minute. Sometimes we pause for a hot minute, right? Right? And it's important for you to identify where the pause is coming from. So one of the things that I said to you guys is, number one, identify how many times this past week you've had something in mind and you were super, super excited about it. You wrote it down. You were like, ooh, it's time to go. And then you said, ooh, no, you pushed it back. How many times? Drop into the comment box for me. 1, 2, 3, 4 more. How many times did you push back some plan this week? And if you feel comfortable, because this is a comfortable, supportive space, I welcome you to drop into the comment box exactly what it was that you pushed back and think about why you pushed it back. Okay? Because these are important questions, not for me to ask you, but for you to ask yourself. So let's do this. Let me talk to you about what you need to consider when it comes to this process of stopping the pushback so you can start to push forward. Okay. Now, first, I love acronyms, and one of my favorite is STOP, stop. I'm going to drop that for you right now. Stop. Here's what you need to do. Stop, right? Observe, okay? Think. Wait, no. I said it backwards. Sorry. I put the T and the O. I switched the T and the O. Let's do that again. Stop, okay? STOP stands for me, and for a lot of people, because this is a common acronym. Stop, think, observe, proceed, okay? Somebody drop that down. Write it down. Think about it. When emergencies happen, when things happen, a lot of times we want to be running. We want to be frazzled. We're feeling triggered. I need to do something now. I need to superwoman my way to figure this out. We want to run. We want to do something, right? But before things happen the right way, we have to stop the right way. And the right way to stop is STOP. You stop, you think, you observe, you proceed. You get it? We're going to talk about how you can effectively do that. So we can take the negative stop of pushing your plans back and turn it into a positive stop, a process that can allow you to push forward. You feel me? So somebody feel free to drop that into the comment box for me. STOP, stop, think, observe, proceed. That's number one. Number two, make sure that you at some point go over to the weekly web class page so you can sign up absolutely free to get updates and notifications from me. Turn on the notifications, by the way, if you want to make sure that when I do these lives, you can get it. Okay. But that is something that I'm going to talk to you about today, because sometimes you do need to stop so that you can slow down and speed up. Some of you guys may feel that you are feeling triggered and you need to kind of run and do things, but we want to make sure that you stop wasting time so that you can do the things that you need to do. Okay. So let's talk about the first stop. The first stop. First stop is to stop overthinking. Stop pushing yourself. Stop being in a place where you're running, you're hustling, you're grinding, you're just doing the busy work and you're not strategic and intentional about the things that you're doing. What we need to do is we need to stop that. The overthinking, the hustle bustle, I need to do this, I feel like I'm behind. How many people feel like they're behind right now? B, drop a B in the comment box for me if you feel like you're behind right now. Drop an O in the comment box if you feel like you're overwhelmed right now. And drop an E in the comment box for me if you feel like you're exhausted right now. You're behind. You're overwhelmed. You're exhausted, right? A B for behind, an O for overwhelmed, an E for exhausted. Drop those into the comment box for me. Let me see. Because here's the deal. If you feel like you're exhausted and you're overwhelmed and you don't know what to do, you're going to push back the plans. I'm too tired. I cannot do that today. No, not today, Lord. Not today. Not today. I'm too tired. Oh my God, I can't think about this. I have so many things on my plate. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. Oh my gosh, I'm so behind. I'm so behind. I'm like, I need to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Who feels behind? Because guess what? You can't think properly when you're trying to rush it. Real talk, if you're trying to startups don't pay up right away. So let's be clear. If you want to get paid, you have to be strategic and intentional. So the first stop that I'm going to talk about with you guys today is how you get into the right space, the right head space, because you got to do the head work. You got to roll up your sleeves and do the hard work. And you got to do the heart work too, especially for those of you who say you pushing back your plans because you're afraid and you're frustrated. There's some heart work that goes into the head work and the hard work, right? All of them types of work we got to do to push forward in the business, which means that first we need to stop, S-T-O-P, stop, think, observe, and proceed. If you're in a space where you're exhausted, you're overwhelmed, and you're feeling behind, and all of those things are cluttering your mind. Okay, so how do we declutter the mind? We need a personal clarity session, okay? A PCS. You need to set up a personal clarity session with yourself. Absolutely free. You and you alone, okay? So let me tell you about that. Real talk, I have clarity sessions with myself every single week. And I do this with clients. So I get paid to do clarity calls with clients. They go to callme.sistersense.com. They schedule a 60-minute, a 30-minute, or a 90-minute, or a 3-hour, or whatever they need to succeed. They schedule a clarity call with me. Normally, I do that with clients for anywhere between 1 to 3 hours. When I do a personal clarity session with myself, it's usually somewhere between 3 to 6 hours. Real talk, I'm lying on this purple couch. I'm lying on my floor. I'm doing what I need to do to declutter the mind. Because before you can do the hard work, you have to do the head work and the heart work, which is what you do inside of your own personal clarity sessions. Who needs a personal clarity session right now? Who needs one? If you need a personal clarity session, I need you to drop into the comment box for me, PCS, okay? So I can see who needs a personal clarity session right now, because I'm going to talk to you about how it works and how you do this for yourself. Because again, you're pushing back your plans, and it's not just because you're busy. It's not just because life is overtaking you. It's because you're procrastinating. You're avoiding this thing, either because you're overwhelmed, you're exhausted, you're overthinking the process, and it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be. Funny enough, I was on a clarity session with a client last week. I do my clarity calls on Wednesdays. That's my office hours. And she said to me, we did 90 minutes. And she said, oh my God, LaShanda, first of all, we were supposed to do 60 minutes, right? I thought we were going to do 30. We ended up doing 60. And then we went further and did 90, because 60 minutes in, she was like, listen, I need to do 90 with you. Real talk. She said, because I was honestly about to throw in the towel when it comes to this business. But I mean, I just feel so clear. I just feel so motivated to do everything that you're telling me to do right now. And that's what I want for you. I want you to be motivated. So how do you do this? Now, I did an accountability call with my mastermind group. I did it last week, Thursday. The accountability call was on time bending, how to time bend so you can get more things done. The first time bender that I'm going to share with you today is timed tasks. You having a personal clarity session with yourself is a timed task. It's something that you do on a schedule. It's something that you do at a designated length, and it's something that you do on an occurring basis. There's a frequency to it. So for me, I schedule out either Mondays or Sundays. I schedule out my personal clarity sessions anywhere between 3 to 6 hours. If you can only do 30 minutes or an hour, fine, but you need to schedule out consistent time at a designated time frame so that every week you can work on getting clear with you. Okay? That's so important. So what are we going to do? We're going to do a personal clarity session so that you can identify a couple of things. And I'm going to write down those things. Well, no, I'm going to say those things and you're going to write them down. Okay? Okay. So first thing, floating thoughts, right? Part of the overwhelm, a part of the exhaustion, a part of the fatigue and the fear is you've got a lot of floating thoughts. So the first thing that you want to do is to get your notebook, right? And you want to write down all the floating thoughts. Somebody feel free to drop this down and transcribe it if you want to. Number one, when you are doing your own personal clarity session, write down the floating thoughts, because the floating thoughts are causing you to float. The floating thoughts are, you ever have dreams? Because I've had dreams where, and I love dream books, by the way, because there are certain dreams that you'll have all the time. Like, you ever have dreams where you're in class and you're supposed to take an exam and you don't know like what the hell they're talking about? You didn't know this exam was happening. Like, oh my God. Anybody ever have that dream? Okay, that's number one. But number two, another common dream is floating in the air. Like, I've had dreams where I'm just like, I cannot stop floating. I'm floating. It starts from outside of the window, and then I'm floating past the clouds, and then I'm floating, and I'm going into the universe. It's just nonstop floating. When you have those things, you've got a lot going on, and you're anxious, right? So the first thing that you have to do to have your own personal clarity session is to, number one, drop down in your notebook. Do not censor yourself. Do not overthink. Drop down in your notebook all the things that you're thinking about, okay? Automatic brain dump, because I'm a visual girl. Any visual people in here? Just say me. If you're a visual person, I'm a visual girl, and I need to be in a space where I can see it on paper. I want to do this. 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 So the thoughts stop to float. They stop floating, and then you can see it on paper. That's going to help you, number one. Number two, what you've got to do is really get real with yourself and think about, well, what is the thing that I know I need to get done now? Okay? Because we're talking about a couple of things. Number one, I'm giving you some of what I gave as part of my accountability call with my mastermind group when we did our session on time bending. Okay? Now, here's the deal. There are 4 time savers. There are 4 ways that you can get more done, right? The first one is timed tasks and personal clarity sessions with yourself. I classify that as a timed task, okay? Now, if you need help with accountability and you want to be on my accountability circle and you want to get access to all the live calls, like the last one we did on making the most of your time and getting more done, you can literally sign up for $10 for life. When you go to sistersense.com/WWC, which stands for weekly web class, there are different resources available there. One of them is to sign up for the accountability call series, $10 for life. What does that mean? Number one, you're going to get access to the archive of the last 10 accountability sessions we did. So 10 for 10, right? And then number two, you're going to get invitations. Every time I do live monthly accountability calls, you'll get the invitation to join us live, and then you'll get the link to listen to the replay. So if you want to listen to the full session that I did on accountability, time bending, how to make the most of your time, make sure that you go there, sistersense.com/WWC. Just wanted to share that with those of you who would like to learn more about some things that you can do as far as stopping the procrastination and moving forward and being more productive, okay? So, by the way, you'll see that there are several resources available on the weekly web class page. Any of those resources are going to get you inside of the accountability circle, okay? The accountability circle is available as an offer in and of itself, but those other resources that are available, any of those will get you access to lifetime invitations to my live monthly accountability calls, okay? So that I can support you in this. Now, I said the first thing that you want to do if you want to have your own personal clarity session is to brain dump all the things that you want to do, okay? Then number two, what you got to do is prioritize here, because the reality is this. There are a ton of things that maybe you want to do, right? But there are certain things that you should do. There's certain things that you should do. And sometimes we know what we want to do and we know what we should do, but we're doubting our decision-making skills, okay? And I don't want you to do that. So here, I'm gonna share something with you. It's called the Eisenhower Matrix. Has anybody ever heard of the Eisenhower Matrix? If you have, just drop a Y in the comment box, or a no if you have never heard of the Eisenhower Matrix before, okay? It's basically a system to identifying what you need to do. So once you brain dump, right? Once you brain dump out all the things that you want to do, all the things that are in your head, the next thing that you can do is identify what needs to happen first. Either like, okay, of all these things that I want to work on, I know I want to do this. Or you go, man, this is a lot of stuff. This is a lot of stuff, and I don't know where to go from here. So let me see if I can pull up an image of the Eisenhower Matrix for you. Let's see if I can pull up an image. And while I'm doing that, feel free to share this out, number one. But number two, make sure that you write down sistersense.com/WWC, which stands for Weekly Web Class. So that number one, you can sign up for the free weekly web classes. And then number two, you can make sure that you can take a look at some of the resources there. One of them is the $10 lifetime access plus archives for my accountability calls, okay? Now, I don't know if you can see this. The glow up is real on my ring light. So let me see if I can turn down the ring light so I can show you this graphic. Oop, can I find the button? Okay, does that help? Doggone it. Okay, doggone it. I was like, I got it. And then it stopped. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I wanted to be able to show it to you so you could screenshot it, but that's not trying to happen right now. But so I'm just gonna read it out to you. Or maybe you can screenshot it real quick. I don't know. There we go. I think that worked. All right, so here's the deal. The Eisenhower Matrix is essentially a box that you divide into 4 boxes, right? So you can do this. And you guys, if you want to, you can take a page out of your notebook. You can take a blank page out of your notebook and make a square, right? And then give it 4 sections. So I'm going to do this. Let's do this. Let's do the Eisenhower Matrix. For those of you anybody struggle with decision making, if you struggle with decision making, put DM in the comment box for decision making, okay? Because I love to go back and check and see the things that you guys say after the fact, so I can check the replays and then hang out with you guys. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this square. One of my clients, when she was on one of my accountability calls, we talked about the Eisenhower Matrix. She was like, before our call, I did my matrix, LaShanda, I'm so happy. Okay, so first thing that you do is you make, your 4 squares. You keep it seriously simple, okay? Hopefully you guys, I cannot see if you're doing this right now because I can't see the updates of the live stream. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to see if I can pull up the live on my phone because I can't see Nathan right now. It's only showing me like a few comments. Okay. So let me write this out. So here, you got your boxes, right? And I know it looks like chicken scratch, right? So you got your 4 boxes. Oh, this one says urgent. This one says urgent. I don't know how to do this when the screen is flipped. Y'all help me out. This one says urgent. This one says not urgent. Okay, so we've got urgent, not urgent. Okay. Then on the side here, over here, we've got important, not important. Okay. So in this box, everything that is urgent and important, like you have to do, like I have a website that I need to finish like today. That is urgent and important. So as soon as I get off this live stream with y'all, because yes, I'm a web designer, I got to get to work for my clients. Okay, that is urgent and important, right? Then here is important, but it's not urgent. Okay, so I have an amazing weekend workshop happening this weekend here in Greenville, North Carolina at the Hilton. Yes. And I have some last minute things to do just so I make sure I am solid and ready for that. It's important, but it's not urgent. I don't have to do it like this minute, right? So it's there. It goes into important, but not urgent, right? Then down here, we have scrolling over. What does that say? Not important, okay? It's urgent, but it's not important, okay? So what is that for you? Like, is there something that, like, maybe somebody said, oh, LaShanda, I need something right now, right? And they need something right now from me. And it's urgent for them, and it's something that they need, but it's not like really important for me. I feel so bad for saying that. Okay, right? So urgent, not important. And then you have this one. And again, my apologies. It's kind of weird to figure out where my hand is going because I'm not used to this whole mirror thing. Then this one right here is not urgent and not important. So maybe there are things that you want to do, but really you don't need to do it now because it's not really that important and it's not really that urgent, okay? So when you look at the Eisenhower matrix, right? Let's go back to those boxes because I'm going to show you, or rather explain to you what they mean, okay? Feel free to share this out because again, sharing is caring. And of course, number 2, if you want to make sure that when I do these live sessions for my fellow entrepreneurs out there, you are on them, go and turn on alerts. You can also go to sistasense.com/WWC, which stands for weekly web class, and sign up. That's going to give you absolutely free access to updates, plus some of my best web class replays for those of you entrepreneurs out there looking to work on your money, your marketing, and your sales, okay? Now, let's get back into the Eisenhower matrix, because again, right now, the first thing that we need to talk about when it comes to you stopping this process of pushing back your plans and pushing forward in your business is you getting more productive and you getting more accountable and you working on becoming a time bender, right? So you can get more done in your business. So, okay, I know you can't read my chicken scratch. It's okay. It's okay. Wait, I'm going off the screen. Is that it? Okay. So when you see urgent and important, obviously that goes underneath the do column. So you got to do it now. The things that are urgent and important, you got to do it now. The things that are not urgent, right? And they're important, but they're not urgent, you schedule. You decide when you're going to schedule it so that you can get it done at a certain time, right? The things that are urgent, but not necessarily important, meaning that you personally don't have to do it. Maybe you can delegate it, right? Maybe you can delegate it. Who can do it for you if you can't do it for yourself? Sometimes I delegate with automation, right? I love on my Facebook business page, which by the way is you're on it right now. So make sure you turn on alerts, number 1. And number 2, if you know me and you've been following me, can you post a review? There's a section in there to add reviews. Can you give me a review? Thank you. Write that down. Note to self, give LaShanda a review after this web class. But here's the deal. They also, which is really cool, if you're an admin for your Facebook page, you can turn on, let me move this for a second so I can share that strategy with you guys. There is an option in your admin section so that you can add an automatic message when people email or message you. I don't check my business page messages as much as I should because I've got a lot of urgent things to do, right? And so how I delegate is I turn that on. And literally I say, listen, thank you so much for asking me a question. I really don't check these that much. So if you really want to get my attention, email sistasense@gmail.com. Number 1, please do that. But number 2, if your question is how I can work with you, or rather how you can work with me, just go to workwithme.sistasense.com for more details, okay? It's an automatic message because I suck at reading those. But honestly, it's because I'm very intentional when it comes to my time. And I don't have a lot of time to be on Facebook or Instagram or all these other social media platforms. So when I am on them, it's very strategic. It's very, very intentional, right? So you can delegate either by having somebody else do it for you, pay your kid, find a VA, but use automation whenever possible, okay? So that's that column. And then you have this one right here. If it's not urgent and it's not important, then what you need to do is delete. You need to, I know that doesn't spell eliminate, but you know what it means. You need to eliminate it. Delete it. Get rid of it. Stop filling up your schedule with things that you don't need to do, right? Stop filling up your schedule with things that you don't need to do. So hopefully that helps some of you who struggle with decision making. Like, how do I decide what I do right now? LaShanda, I have so many things that I need to do, which is why I just said to you, when I do my own personal clarity sessions, normally they're anywhere between 3 to 6 hours. If you want to have a clarity call with me, by the way, you can go to callme.sistersense.com, schedule a call so we can get on the phone and we can talk. One of my superpowers is helping people get clear. So if you need some support right there, you can go to clarity calls, callme.sistersense.com, right? But I'm talking about how you can DIY your own clarity session, okay? Absolutely free between you and you, okay? Number 2, if you want to be on my accountability calls or get access to the best sessions from the accountability call series, you can go to sistersense.com/WWC, and you'll see there, one of the resources there is the accountability calls archive. So what you'll get there is immediately, you're going to get the archive for the last 10 accountability calls that we did. Plus, you're going to get inside of my list. You're going to get in the accountability call circle. So every time I do these live A-team sessions, not these, but when I do accountability sessions talking about productivity and progress and getting more done in your business and break all these things down, every time I do those live sessions, you'll get an invite. And if you miss them, there's no worries, because I also give you a link to access the replays so you can listen to it at your leisure. Okay? So, bam! I need to push back here. Okay. Got to get comfortable. So that's number 1, okay? The first thing I want you to do, for those of you who are in a space where you're pushing back your plans, if you're in a space where you're pushing back your plans, is I need you to sit down and have a personal clarity session with yourself. Brain dump in that session all the things that you want to do. That's clarity step number 1. Number 2, if you decide what you're going to do of that list. Now, if you find that there's a whole lot of stuff on that list and you're overwhelmed and you don't know where to start, I shared with you the Eisenhower matrix. So hopefully that can help. But once you identify that thing you're going to focus on, get some clarity there as far as those questions around that thing that you need to answer. Some of those questions you can answer yourself. Some of those questions you may need to look to outside resources, books, the websites, Google, go to Barnes and Nobles, whatever you need to do to get those answers, right? So that's a 3-step process to having a personal clarity session with yourself, identifying all those things floating in your mind, get them on paper so you can see them with your eyes and they can stop floating. Pick a few of them, 1, 2, 3, but really starting with one thing on that list that you want to prioritize, and then once you decide that one thing, start answering the questions or looking for people or resources that can help you answer the questions for that one thing. Okay, hopefully that helps and that gives you some clarity around what you need to do to create that personal clarity session for you. I sometimes will lie on this couch, or I'll be on my floor and my son will come in and he's like, "Mommy, you're not doing anything. You've been staring at that page for like 4 hours." And I'm like, "Yeah, baby," because once I do that, everything comes out. Everything comes out. And then I'm like, bing, 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 like laser focus, because sometimes you have to slow down so you can speed up. Remember, I said this is about using stop the right way, as opposed to having stop prevent you from doing things and causing you to push back. You want to STOP, stop, think, observe, proceed. Okay, remember I said that to you, the STOP acronym, stop, think, observe, proceed. So I am going to see if I can jump on Facebook so I can see your comments, because I can't see them here on my computer, which sucks. I mean, I saw a few of them and then it was like, what? They were gone. I was like, what? So, personal clarity sessions are, oh, that's me. How do I mute me? Stop talking. I want to see the comments. I don't want to hear the voice. I'm having an old woman moment. You know, when your mama's on her phone, like, how does this work, baby? I'm having an old mama moment. Now I can see comments. Crystal says, please provide the information to your workshop this weekend. I'm in North Carolina. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Crystal, are you still here? Say yes. Maybe you left because I'm just seeing that. My weekend workshop here in North Carolina, it's called Spring into Action, and you can learn more about it at sistersense.com/spring, SPRING. That's going to give you access to two things. Number one, we had a live virtual last weekend. You're going to get access to that. So in that, I talked about three things. Number one, how to magnify your money, making more money online. Number two, magnetic marketing, attracting people to you. So we talked about attention, specifically media attention. We talked about attraction, customer attraction, and we talked about acquisition, client acquisition, because y'all need to acquire some more clients like yesterday. So we talked about magnetic marketing, and then last but not least, how to supercharge your sales. It was a 3-hour intensive. The replays are already online. So you get access to that. Plus, you get to come out and hang with me here in Greenville, North Carolina. And again, you can learn more about it at sistersense.com/spring. We're going to work on two things this weekend. Number one, the money map, specifically the 300K money map. I'm going to share with you some things you can do to work on your BYOB, breaking down and building up your best offers boss. So we're going to take a look at what you got versus what you want to make as far as the products and services and packages you want to build. That's the first part, the money map. And then number two, the MMA method. I'm going to talk to you about my MMA method, which is MMA for me stands for money making activities. So one of the things that you need to learn how to do is to master taking one kind of offer or one kind of activity and multiplying it into certain things. That was actually one of the things, by the way, that yes, you're still here. Awesome, Crystal. That was one of the things that I talked about on the time bending accountability call. So one of the things I talked about was time multipliers. And when you multiply time, that allows you to do one thing, but have that one thing serve you in multiple ways. So for the MMA method, essentially what we're going to do is I'm going to share some strategic activities with you to help you brainstorm, produce content that you can use on your blog and across social media platforms, but also use that content to turn into physical product. Okay. So that's something that's pretty cool as well. One of the things that we're going to do as part of that is my plug and publish activity. When I do these workshops, and normally they're very small. These are small workshops, 2, 3, 4, 5 women. It's intimate so that we can work together, because I'm not just there for you to listen to me. I'm there to actually see your computer and work with you on things so you can walk away after 3 days going, yes, I did that, right? So our plug and publish project is actually a journal. So for the first time, I'm releasing my journal template to ladies participating in the weekend workshop so that we can work on you producing your own journal that you can have as a printable that people can download and print out, or you can print yourself and have as a physical print on demand offer, which is pretty awesome. So if you do have any other questions, Crystal, feel free to let me know. But if anybody else is interested, you can also check in with me as well. All the details you can find at sistersense.com/spring. Awesome, right? Lots of good there. I'm super excited about that. So glad that I jumped on here because, again, I can't see the updates. I can't see the comment updates on the computer. So alrighty, time multipliers is something that I love to talk about because you want to learn how to time bend. You want to learn how to get more done, right? You want to learn how to stop wasting time. And I'm going to talk about that now. I'm going to talk about that now. So where are we in this process? So we talked so far about number one, which is timed tasks. And when I say a timed task, if you want to time bend, that's when you designate a certain time and you schedule it out. You say, okay, this is how long it's going to be. This is when the schedule is, and this is how often I'm going to do that. So for me, one of the best time tasks when it comes to being in a space where you stop pushing back your plans so that you can push forward in your business is to consistently schedule personal clarity sessions with yourself. I schedule mine usually on Monday or Sunday, normally 3 to 6 hours, and I do that frequently every single week. So that's a timed task, okay? I also dropped in there time multipliers, when essentially what you need to do is to think about strategies or ways for you to do one thing, but have it work for you on multiple levels. So funny enough, I did a time multiplier this morning. I am in the process of testing out some awesome new marketing tools. And I said, you know what? I also want to teach as well. I want to do a web class. I want to teach. I want to try the tool. And I want to be able to have material for the ladies in my jump challenge, because my jump challenge every day for 30 days, I'm teaching the ladies different marketing strategies I'm doing this month. So I said, let me do all three in one. How did I do that? Well, I want to test out these new marketing tools. One of them is called Be Live TV. Anybody using Be Live? Anybody use it for their Facebook Lives? If you use it, let me know if you use Be Live. You can just drop in the comment box and let me know if you're doing that. But I'm not, so I'm trying it out for the first time. I figured, why not test it out, but at the same time do a web class and have content that I can share with the ladies in my jump challenge all in one, right? So that for me is a time multiplier, because literally that one activity allowed me to hit 3 goals, okay? Time multiplier is really helpful when it comes to bending time and being more productive. Like I said, I break all of that down inside of the replay of the accountability call that I did on time bending. If you missed that, you can definitely listen to the replay. So when you go to sistersense.com/WWC, there are a couple things you're going to do there. Okay. When you go to sistersense.com/WWC for weekly web class, number one, absolutely free. You can sign up to get alerts and access to some of my best weekly web classes. That's number one. Okay. Number two, when you get there, you can take a look at some of the resources that I have available right now, like the Spring into Action replays from last week. If you missed my live that I did this past Saturday, you make sure you grab that, because that's some good that you want to grab before it go away. The live web class that I did on money marketing and supercharging your sales. And then also the accountability call series. So literally for $10, you can get 10, the best, most recent accountability sessions that we did. You get links to listen to those, instant access. And then number two, you get lifetime. Literally lifetime inside of my A-Team accountability circle. Y'all remember A-Team with Mr. T, right? Y'all remember A-Team? Well, my A-Team is the accountability circle. Every month I have live accountability calls, like the last one that we did on time bending, how to get more done. And if you want to listen to that, plus other replays, plus get invitations via email every time I do accountability calls, you can get access to that. It's only $10, okay? So now that I said that, because I had to remind those of you who forgot or just jumped on here, let's talk about the next thing. Am I on the right page? I'm not. I'm looking at this and I'm like, that's not my notes. That's not what I want to say. That's why I'm not on the right page, because I went and did the Eisenhower matrix with you guys. Rhonda says, no, but it looks cool. Yeah, I'm super excited about testing out Be Live, and I'm going to tell you guys more about it as I use it. You used it before, Crystal? Awesome. So the next thing that we're going to talk about here, number 2, okay? We're going to talk about time killers. Time killers. And I'm going to share a few of these with you, as I shared on the accountability call. We had so much fun. So much good was there. So I need to identify a few time killers for you guys. And if any of these apply to you, okay, drop the word to that thing in the comment box, okay? Because these are time killers. Now, the first one is right quick miscalculation. Okay, this happens to the best of us. Hell, it happened to me this morning, I think. I had a serious time killer. I was supposed to start my web class at 8 o'clock when I got home after dropping off my son. I didn't start my web class until 10 o'clock because I had a right quick miscalculation. What is that? Have you ever found yourself in a space where you go, ooh, let me do that right quick, right? And then it's only going to take like 5 minutes. I'll be done in like 20 minutes. And then 3 hours later, you're like, oh my God, why? Why did I do that, right? If you are pushing back your plans, if you're finding yourself in a space where you're overwhelmed, you're exhausted, or you're feeling behind, I said the first thing that you need to do is have a personal clarity session. That was number 1. That was your timed task project, right? Designate some point this week where you have a personal clarity session with yourself. Okay. Chantilly says too many times, right? That's number two. Number two is you got to, number one was you have to stop doing all of this. Stop spinning, stop being frustrated, stop doing all this stuff and moving fast and thinking you're doing stuff, but you're not really doing things because you need to get clear, right? So that clarity was number one. Number two, stop killing time. Killing time with things that you should not be doing. And the first one is the right quick miscalculation. Now, sometimes it happens to the best of us. Like I said, it happened to me this morning. We got to deal with it, right? But what you can do is if you identify that you are guilty of, let me do that right quick. If that's one of your triggers, you knowing that is a trigger, you can stop it more often. You won't stop it all the time because we're human, but you can stop it more often. Okay, now let me ask you guys a question. How many of you bend over backwards? Like, I mean, for real, like you are in some sort of Cirque du Soleil. Bend over backwards when either family members or friends or coworkers or your boss, they just jump in front of your face and ask you to do something. And you're like, sure, no problem. Who's a bender? Not in a good way. You're not the time bender. You're the bend over backwards. I'll do it. Sure, no problem kind of a girl or guy, if the guy's watching me here. Here's the reality of the situation, right? If you find yourself doing that, that's that right quick miscalculation, right? Because you'll find a lot of times that you're exhausted and you're overwhelmed and you're procrastinating and you're not doing what you need to do and you're pushing back your plans because you're prioritizing the right quick stuff that you want to do. Oh, let me do that right quick. Whether you put that on your plate or somebody else puts it on your plate, and because you are trying to be flexible and be the girl that everybody loves and likes, you do that, right? Now, here's the deal. You cannot do timed tasks that help you move forward in your business if you do not address time killers that suck up and drain your energy and your time, right? So if I say to you, I need you to prioritize this in your business, or if I say to you, I want you to do the Eisenhower matrix and identify what's important, you got to do this. Hey, somebody drop this in the comment box for me. Prioritize your priorities. Prioritize your priorities. If it's your business, it's just that. It's your business, which means that if you find everything else, right? 1 week goes by, 1 month goes by, 1 year goes by, more than 1 year go by, because a lot of your time is being sucked up because of the right quick miscalculation. That's a problem. You want to push forward, you need to be able to address that. Because sometimes you got to be like, no, it is not going to be right quick. Oh, girl, let me jump on the phone with you for 5 minutes. I just need for 5 minutes. How many friends you got like that? And you know good and well when you get on the phone with her or him, because let's be honest, some dudes, they know how to talk, right? That's my Brooklyn girl. You heard the talk, right? That's my Brooklyn girl coming out, right? Sometimes you know that. And you go, fine, I'll just jump on the phone with you right quick. But you know it's not a right quick situation. You've got to be able to identify those triggers, address them, and stop them. Stop the bad stops and do the good stop, right? The good stop, remember STOT, stop, think, observe, proceed, right? Okay, so Rhonda says, not anymore, not anymore. So right quick miscalculation, that's a time killer. That's number one. So if anybody struggles with right quick miscalculations, right, you can put in what? What can you put in that short? RQM for right quick miscalculation if you struggle with that. And feel free, keep in mind, whether you're watching live or via the replay, you can drop it in because I always like to interact with my replay watchers. That's number one. Another one is overthinking. A lot of people struggle with overthinking. And here's the deal. If you overthink, more than likely you're going to underperform. You will, if you think a thing long enough, trust and believe you're going to think yourself out of that thing. Any overthinkers, any OTs in the building, put an OT if you are an overthinker, okay? You know, one of my clients, she paid for, I call it Get More Done services. You can schedule 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours. She paid for my return package, and we were working on a few things. One of those things was her email marketing for a new challenge. So we knocked that out. That was done. The other part of it was a welcome sequence. 1 week went by. 2 weeks went by. 3 weeks went by. She's like, girl, you know I had to give you that welcome sequence, right? I just cannot. And I'm like, okay, I need you to understand you're a human being. Your clients are human beings. Don't overthink emails. Some of you guys are overthinking your sales page, your copy, the product, the production. It needs to look like that person's. It doesn't have this. I don't have that kind of person's money. It's not going to look as flossy or official because you're looking at everybody else's whatever, right? Stop overthinking and kiss the process. KISS. Keep it seriously simple. Do what you have. Start where you are. Work with what you got. So I sat down and I said, listen, I love you a lot. So here's what I'm going to do for you, boo. I wrote down, it took me maybe 10 minutes. I wrote down a 6-part welcome sequence for her. And so I said, here's what I want you to do. Take this, run with it. Flesh it out, put in your links, make it your own, bring it back to me, and then I will finish the technical part, which is setting up your welcome sequence and your convert kit. Okay? So then she emailed me this morning and she was like, yeah, I'm going to get back to you with this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Either you get somebody to help you or you just help yourself by stop thinking about the thing until you think yourself out of the thing because you're killing your time and you're subconsciously pushing your stuff backwards because you're making it harder than it needs to be. Right? You know, I talked about my weekend workshops when I did the last one in January. The next one is coming up this weekend here in Greenville. One of the ladies said, LaShanda, oh my God, you just make this stuff so simple. We did so much good. Like we set up their call me pages so that they can get people scheduling and booking calls with them. Some people set up their store. I redesigned, like literally that weekend, I helped one of my clients redesign her website. She purchased extra time with me. So she signed up for the workshop, plus she also purchased web support time as well. So in that, I was able to work on her website while we were there. But it's all about getting things done. And if you find that you are an overthinker, again, some of this stuff is not going to just fix itself overnight. You're not just going to stop overthinking. The idea here is that you address the trigger. You address the fact that you go, okay, I'm going down the rabbit hole. Let me stop. Right? I had a client who she was like, I said, okay, I need you to do this, 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 right? I break it down. I keep it simple. And then while we were at the workshop, she said, but what about this? What about this? What about this? And I was like, I need you to stop going down the rabbit hole. Stop thinking about those things. Those things will come. You will phase in your greatness. For now, focus on these 3 steps. So identify for yourself if you are suffering from the right quick miscalculation, number 1. Number 2, identify if you are in a space where you're overthinking and underperforming. There are a lot of other time killers that I can talk about, but honestly, I've been on here for forever. And again, like I said, if you want to learn more about the time bending, the 4 ways that you can learn how to get more done, I break it all down in that accountability call. So if you don't already have access to it, make sure that you sign up for the accountability circle. You can learn more about that when you go to citizensense.com/WWC and you scroll down. You'll see more of those details there. Okay. Whew, so many. I think I'm just going to do a session. I might just do a session on time killers in and of itself because there are more that I have here, but too much to share. Too much to share. Okay, so we talked about a few things today. We talked about the time task that is scheduling your own personal clarity session so that you can stop pushing, spinning, worrying, and get clear, right? That was number 1. Number 2, we talked about stop wasting time. Right? Some of those time killers. I gave you a few examples. I'll give you more inside of that accountability call. Now let's talk about how to fix it. How to fix it. Okay. And I even talked about time multipliers today as well, which is pretty awesome. Let's talk about how to fix it. Okay. Now, when I say how to fix it, what I want you to think about is how to fix your plate. How to fix your plate. What does that mean? As adults, a lot of us have full plates. A lot of stuff that you have to do is on your plate. I get that. It's time for you to fix it. How do you do that? Number 1, you fix your own plate. Keep in mind, I'm going to give you an example of that. When you're kids, your parent fixes your plate for you, right? As an adult, you'll find that maybe other people are fixing your plate. They're like, oh, mommy, you got to do this, this, this. Honey, you got to do this, this, this. Hey, this you and your boss, your manager, your coworker, you got to do this, this, this. Your parents, right? Your sisters, your siblings. Other people are fixing your plate as far as what you need to do with your time, and you're letting them. Some of you are doing it subconsciously. Some of you are doing it begrudgingly, passive aggressively. You're pissed off that you're responsible for all of these things. But if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it, right? So you are in a place where everybody else is fixing your plate and it's very, very full. Number one, you have to, in order to fix your plate, to make it better, to make it work for you so you can push forward in your business, number one, you have to be the one fixing your plate. Deciding what gets done when and what things are I'm not doing that. No. I got a couple of things in my relationship where my hubby is like, I've been with you for doggone 16 years and you won't. And I'm like, no, that ain't going on my plate. Not never, not never. No, it's not. Like mowing the lawn. Like, oh my God. So he's got like so many things to do at work. And so mowing the lawn has become a struggle. And I'm like, for real? Yeah, I know that one and that one, like those women will go, I'm not mowing the lawn. So either you do it or we pay somebody to do it. But that just is not going to happen, right? What are some things that people are trying to put on your plate or you let them put on your plate? That's number one. Number two, you fix your plate by phasing in your greatness. Phase in your greatness. What does that mean, phase in your greatness? Well, I all the time have people coming to me and asking me a lot of questions. One of those questions is, LaShanda, where do I start? And it was in my heart to answer that question in a really thoughtful way. So I gave myself some time. I sat down and I wrote out what I call the 7 phases to building a successful online business. And I'll share them with you right now really quickly. To me, there are 7 phases. Any entrepreneur at any time is in one of these phases. So if you're not sure where to start, I'll give you the 7 phases and then you go, yes, that's where I am. Then do what you need to do in that phase, okay? Now, I put it in a book as well. So if you sign up for the accountability calls or the weekly web classes over at sistersense.com/WWC, I will send it to you. I have a little book. It's called The 7 Modes to Building a Successful Online Business. And I will send it to you as part of the accountability series as well as the weekly web class series on sistersense.com/WWC. Okay. So here are the 7 modes. These are modes that I set down. I said, as a business owner, I've been doing this for almost 20 years. At any given time, I'm in one of the 7 modes. Number 1, idea mode. Trying to figure out what to do next, trying to figure out what product or service or plan I'm going to do next, right? Idea mode. Number 2, creation mode. Once you know exactly what you're going to do, then you do the beautiful thing that is create. That's number 2. Number 3, launch mode. Once you've created that good, you want to launch it, share it with the world. Number 4, marketing mode. So after you have created it and you have launched it, you got to market it so more people can see it, right? Marketing mode. Number 5, client mode. Once it's marketed and you're starting to get customers or people are asking you questions, spending time to attract, acquire, and also get the attention of customers, client acquisition, customer acquisition. That's what you're doing in client mode. You're doing customer service, answering people's questions, working on conversion marketing, client mode. Number 6, break. That's when you say, listen, I've been talking for doggone an hour and a half. I'm about to take a break and drink this water. Feel free to share this out because sharing is caring. Tag somebody needs to hear it and begin my break. After you do your marketing and your launching and your creation, you're exhausted. You take a break, right? Hello, Rochelle. Do you do SEO? I do. You feel free to share some questions with me. You can email sistersense@gmail.com. Hi, Lemoria. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hi, guys. Welcome. So yeah, eventually after you doing all that doggone hard work, you're going to need to take a break, right? And then revamp mode. After you've done all this good stuff, you've got some experience, you've got some results, you've made some mistakes, you had some wins, you had some losses, you had some questions, now you got answers. You're in revamp mode. You're tweaking things, you're mastering things, you're making things better so that you can start the cycle all over again. Idea, creation, launch, marketing, clients, break, and revamp. 7. So I break down the 7 modes inside of my book, The 7 Modes to Building a Successful Online Business. You can get it free when you sign up for the accountability series and or absolutely free when you sign up for weekly web classes over at success.com/WWC. Okay. And I'll make sure to send that guide on 7 modes to building a successful online business to you. So number 1, for those of you who are here, somebody feel free to drop into the comment box those 7 so somebody can see it. Idea, and I'll say them slowly again, right? Because I said, if you want to get better at being in a place where you stop pushing back your plans so you can push forward in your business, once you do some of those things that I said that you need to stop doing, right? Then you got to fix your plate so you can move forward. Fixing your plate for me means phasing in your greatness and finding your focus. Focus. Follow one course until success happens. You know that acronym? FOCUS. Focus. Follow one course until success happens. Oprah was not built in a day. So you cannot expect to do everything you want to do and have the perfect business that looks like him and her and them in a day. You have to phase in your greatness. Stop spinning your wheels and figure out where you are. And so I gave you the 7 modes as I defined them in my 20 years of building, well, almost 20 years of building businesses online. Number 1, idea mode, creation, launch, marketing, client, break, revamp. Okay. Idea, creation, launch, marketing, client, break, revamp. Those are the 7. So I've given you kind of just basically me sharing them. Think about which mode you're in right now. And whether you're watching live or via the replay, which of those do you think you're in right now? Are you in idea mode, trying to figure things out? Are you right now creating products or services? Are you trying to market right now? Are you trying to sell to clients and convert clients right now? Are you just taking a break because you need to relax and recharge right now? Where are you in this process right now? Right now, I am working with one of my private clients to update actually 3 of her websites we're working on. Woo, it's a big project. So we're in revamp mode where she's redesigning her websites with an S, multiple sites. And she's also working on updating her email sequences, right? So maybe that's where you are, where you're trying to get things better, okay? So think about that, drop that into the comment box, because at the end of the day, one of the things that you need to do is to identify how you can move forward by just focusing on one thing, and that is what mode you're in right now. So normally I will have one core offer at a time, and I'll think about what that particular core offer is. Right now, my core offer is Spring into Action. So literally I have the Spring into Action experience, the virtual webinar I did this past Saturday, the live North Carolina workshop coming up next weekend. So many wonderful things. I've got the bestseller boot camp that's coming up as well, as enrollment has opened for that, the monthly mastermind, the monthly accountability calls. There's certain things that I do, but I always have a core focus. And right now my core focus is Spring into Action, all things Spring into Action that I've created under that particular brand series. So when you want to think about phasing in your greatness, for those of you who say, okay, well, I know I'm in creation mode, I know I have content, you want to identify your core offer and let that be the thing that you focus on intentionally. Right? So for those of you who have a core offer, feel free to drop it into the comment box and say, LaShanda, right now, this is my core offer. This is my baby. This is the thing that I'm sharing and promoting and working on. Feel free, to let me know and let everybody else know too. Okay? Because a part of this process of fixing your plate is once you identify your core offer, then you should be doing everything around that offer. When you identify your core goals, right? The last accountability call I did was on identifying your growth goals. Where do you want to grow in your business? Then that's what you prioritize. Okay, I want to grow my email list by 500 or 5,000 in the next 30 days. Then you're not killing time putting all that other stuff on your plate. You're doing the things that you need to do for that goal. Now, some of you can't do this because you got too much on your plate. You're trying to market, launch, sell, create, and do 15 different things at once. And that is draining you. That is exhausting you. That's making you feel like you're behind. You're doing too much for too many people, or you're trying to do too much in your business all at once. Again, Oprah was not built in a day. Neither was I. Neither will you be, because at the end of the day, you have to phase in your greatness and find your focus. Okay. So think about the 7 modes of success that I talked to you about today. Think about identifying your core offer right now. Think about identifying your core goals right now, because that's basically where your priority should be, right? And some of you get lost and go, man, I was supposed to do that, but I haven't done it yet, because you're not clear on that. Which is why I sit down and I have personal clarity sessions so I can identify these things for myself and then laser focus on those things for anywhere between 2 weeks to a month to 3 months to a whole quarter. Okay. So hopefully those are recommendations that have helped you today. My goal is honestly to help you develop a process. Develop your own process to success so that you have your own personal playbook you can consistently go back to and say, okay, I've got a process to getting things done. I've got a process to rinsing and repeating and moving forward. One of the things that I am going to be doing this coming, next month, because enrollment starts now, but it starts next month, is sharing my processes to content creation and product production with ladies and gents in my circle. So if you want to be a part of the accountability calls, if you want to get access to my last Spring into Action virtual series, if you want me to help you create new products, right, for your business, for your brand, for your customers, then I definitely recommend the Best Seller Bootcamp. The Best Seller Bootcamp enrollment has started. And when you go to sistersense.com/WWC, you can learn all about it. And essentially for 90 days, for 12 weeks, I am going to be working with those driven entrepreneurs who say, LaShanda, I need to create new products and I want you to support me and help me get clear on that. So I'm going to be sharing my templates with you guys. I'm going to be sharing my techniques, my tips, and my tools to help you create product. Physical products, digital products, and service-based products, right? I'm going to talk to you about high ticket and low ticket offers, because some of you have been meaning to finally produce products, but you don't have it yet. Okay. So again, if you would like to get the replays to the Spring into Action virtual webinar that I did this past weekend on money, marketing, and sales, if you would like to get access to the accountability calls, if you would like to get in to the Best Seller 90-day bootcamp so that we can work together on you producing your next best sellers for your new business or your existing business so you have more good to sell to your customers, then the Best Seller Bootcamp has that and more. Okay. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions about what I talked today, feel free to drop into the comment box and let me know. If you felt this was helpful to you as far as you identifying what is pushing you back or what's causing you to push your plans back. Are things triggering you? Is it fear? Is it frustration? Is it fatigue? Are you feeling behind? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling exhausted? Are you overthinking? Hopefully today I've been able to help you identify some of those things. We talked about time bending, the secret art of getting more done. I shared with you my personal strategy, which is to schedule every single week a personal clarity session with yourself so you can get clear about your goals and your objectives and stop having all of these things float around in your head and make it heavy on your heart. Right? Because you got to do the hard work, and the head work too if you want to move forward, right? So we talked about time savers, we talked about time tasks, we talked about time multipliers today. Hopefully those were helpful to you. And of course, last but not least, in order for you to push forward, the thing that you have to do is to fix your plate. Number one, stop having other people fix your plate and put all this stuff on your plate because you already have a full plate. So you be the one in control. You fix your plate versus having other people fix it for you. And then that's number one. But number two, you start to fix your plate and get things off and prioritize your priorities by phasing in your greatness and finding your focus, which are things that I try to strategically share with you how I do it so that you could do too as part of our session today. Hey, Regina, thank you for joining me, my dear. So hopefully that has been helpful to you guys. Again, let me know if any of those strategies help. That's number one. Number two, make sure that you go to sistersense.com/WWC, which stands for weekly web class, so you can hang out with me. You can turn on those alerts to get notifications on Facebook, and of course, turn on alerts on YouTube. If you follow me on YouTube as well for those notifications, get into the absolutely free list for the weekly web class series so you can get some of my best replays and updates there. And of course, on that page, sistersense.com/WWC, I also share what's happening right now in the circle, which is the Spring into Action experience. You can get access to the replays from the virtual webinar that we did on money marketing and sales if you missed that. Plus, you can get inside the accountability circle. And you might go, LaShanda, I'm on your list, but how do I know if I'm in the accountability circle? Well, if you were in the circle, you would get email invitations to join us live. And so if you're not getting email invitations to join us live, then you need to join the circle. So anything on that page, whether it be Spring into Action or the Bestseller Bootcamp or the anything that you sign up for, you're going to get access to the accountability circle. Okay. So, alrighty, my dears, that's it for now. Hopefully you've enjoyed this session. I know that I have. It was a little longer than it was supposed to be, but hopefully it was good for you. It was good for me. All right, y'all, take care. Hopefully I'll see you right back here real soon. You never know. Maybe I'll do a late night live. We'll see. But until then, take care. Mwah.